Hello everyone, my name is Haven, and today I am playing Obscura, Chapter 1, The Descent. So I'm probably only going to play Chapter 1 because I don't think there is a Chapter 2 yet. But this is a visual novel, and a very suggestive one at that, apparently. So, here's the synopsis of this. I once heard a story. There's a marketplace under the mountain where anything can be bought and sold. Visitors wear masks to become faceless strangers. It homes to the unscrupulous, the outcast, and the desperate. You're one of the desperate. Strangers with their own secrets and ambitions can show you ways through the market. They'll guide you to your goal, but don't trust them to have your best interests at heart. So I believe this is LGBT related, which is perfectly fine on this channel. In fact, it's very encouraged. In fact, there's, even though it's a visual novel, I do wish there were more LGBT scary games. In fact, I don't think there's really much of any, if at that fact. I mean, most of them are just like visual novels and maybe some very suggestive games, like very explicit games that are really not scary at all. They're just mainly just for the sex appeal. Like they add mini games, but really you're just there to enact the sex, I guess. I don't know. But I do wish there were more LGBT scary games. Because, I feel like that's very lacking. Really lacking in the horror genre. But hey, that's an argument for another day. So, with that being said, I think this said there's like, I don't know how long this is going to be, but it did say there's like, let me look, 30k words. So I imagine this will probably take maybe 30 minutes to an hour, which is fine. I'm okay with that. So I guess with that being said, we're going to jump right into this and play this. I think, so there's several endings, I think. I'm not too sure. Seems like there's gonna be a lot to this game. So it's unhealthy dynamics, religious themes, drugs and alcohol, which is fine, it's whatever. Human trafficking. While the subject is not fine and dandy, this is just a game, so I'm sure that we'll make choices based on that. And violent imagery, which is in this channel, we play scary games. If there's not violent imagery in scary games, I don't know what there is, So let's just jump right into this. No one goes into the mountains without a reason. Purpose of business. Buying. No one takes their past into the mountain. How are you going to pay? Some funds, some work. Good luck with that. Everyone knows what it means when you go. No one says anything about it. Give me your bags. The guard looks through my things with perfect efficiency. Bored, they start asking me questions. What are you going to be called down there? Since this is basically a story revolving, I guess, around me as a character, I'm going she, her. I don't announce this very often, but I do go by she, her. I don't want to go into the details on why, because obviously I don't look feminine in the slightest, but just take me when I say I go by she, her. I don't enforce it. I don't make people do it, but if asked, I do go by she, her. So, just leaving that out there. What will you be called? Alright, what I'm always called, Haven. Just in case y'all didn't know, that's how you say it, Haven. Haven. Good choice. You have a mask, Miss Haven? No one would sell me one. Not a problem here. If we're buying, we're selling. The gate guard waves to the masks hanging on the entrance, perhaps once worn by other visitors. The masks are an old custom. Plausible deniability. We're all faceless strangers under the mountain. Pick your poison. Now, let's see, we got the charcoal colored one with worn lace and gold trim. That sounds very enticing. The cream colored one with flowery details painted across the left side. The burgundy colored one with swirls and embroidered patterns. I like this one. Personally, because I'm always dark and mysterious, even though I may not come off as it. I'm very dark and mysterious in various ways. While the feminine aspect of me would probably enjoy this one, because I like pastel type stuff and whatnot, and I feel like this would probably be like a pastel type thing. My characters are always dark and mysterious, and then this one just doesn't seem like it's very enticing at all. So, we're gonna do charcoal colored one with worn lace and gold trim. I take a mask off the wall and fit it to my face. It weighs on my head, but my mind feels lighter. I see my reflection in the mirror. The people under the mountain have beautiful taste. There you go. That's very appealing to me. I hand the gate guard the money owed. Welcome to the marketplace. They step aside, allowing me passage into the tunnel into the side of the mountain. I begin my descent. Is this amnesia? The dark descent? No. At first, I have to wonder if I've been tricked in some way. The passage grows narrow, the air stale, and the path uneven. I am walking by the last feeble threads of light that reach this deep. But then, I see something, a shimmering pale blue glow from around the corner. I fight through the narrowing walls until I am able to turn the corner. The passage suddenly widens, then it opens. I step from the passage into a cavern, so massive I can hardly see the end of it. The marketplace. There are several masked people who were seated or leaning against the walls around this little entryway, and now they are approaching me. Welcome, newcomer. A fresh face. Someone new could use a guide, couldn't they? Hucksters, or perhaps petty thieves looking for an easy mark. My valuables are kept under my heavy robe, safe from pickpocketers. I steel myself and march forward, past the strangers. There's no logic to this place. A fishmonger selling dried and salted fish sits next to the bookseller with stacks of forbidden tomes. A fungus man and a bird keeper are bickering. If they weren't obvious scams, I could have taken one of the offers for a guide and saved myself some time. At first, I glance at each stall in turn. Out here, nearest the entry tunnel, all of the stalls are selling simple ammonetics or cheap thrills. Or anemones, my bad. The sorts of things a departing traveler might want to have when they ascend, not what I'm looking for. It's not here. Well, I suppose it wouldn't be. Asking one of the sellers, I get directions. The rough walls of this cavern, shifting and trembling in unsteady candle of glow-warm light, slowly turn smooth when natural walls turn to human-carved. The ramshackle stalls turn to ramshackle buildings to painted and varnished walls. The quality of goods on sale is improved as well. The cheap basics are behind me. Ahead are the rare, the luxurious, and the illicit. The real reason anyone comes here. Seeing the sign for an apothecary, an easily recognizable serpent coiling around the staff, I slip inside. Welcome. The shopkeeper is masked, of course, but that is not what grabs my attention. The din of hundreds of voices selling and buying and negotiating in the echo caves is muffled, but not by much. That is because while the apothecary has 4 walls, there is no roof over the store. Newcomer, huh? What? You must be a fresh arrival. And why would you say that? You're staring where the ceiling should be. Ah. I suppose in a city where no sun or rain, roofs are unnecessary. Only thing a roof keeps out of the marketplace is thieves. Common weather pattern here? Far too common. I make an effort to examine the apothecary's mask. It's plainer even than mine. Perhaps he is frugal, or perhaps he is poor by the standards of the marketplace. Well, you weren't driven in here by the weather. What do you need? I'm looking for lunar eicher. I resist the urge to explain my circumstances to the shopkeeper. No matter how meaningless or petty they seem, my secrets are one of the few resources I have in these depths. You have expensive tastes, or terrible luck. What I don't have is lunar eicher. Is that something you can remedy, apothecary? No. If money is a concern, I can make arrangements. It's not the money. I could never afford to stock that damnable eicher. Even if I could, I doubt I would be able to stomach it. The rumors were true then. That is unfortunate. Where does one go then to find that damnable eicher? Smugglers then, the vault of the lords of the market, or perhaps you could take a knife to the lunar god. Failing that, the auction house may provide. It's the largest house on this side of the ruby walls. It even has a roof. The apothecary cannot see my smile, but I hope he can hear it. I thank you for your timely advice, sir. Save your thanks for the lunar god. It'll be a miracle if you get that eicher. I take my leave of the shop. The noise rises again from loud to deafening. There are tunnels and additional caverns in all directions, but I continue the way I was going. If the walls are getting smoother and the buildings more beautiful, then I am approaching the richest part of the market. It stands to reason that is where the auction house will be. Keeping my eyes up, it takes no time to find the auction house. It is as the apothecary said, the largest house this side of the ruby walls. There are lone chains of glowworms draping over the promised rigid roof that dangle and sway as the air shifts in the cavern. The building itself is deep, garnet red with gilded trim. Message received. You're very wealthy, whoever built this. The doors, covered in tiny engravings impossible to interpret in dim lights, are wide open. Bright, golden lamplight pours out into the street. People are freely miling in and out, and so I slip inside. I am underdressed for the occasion, but neither of the guards standing at the doors move to stop me. The sound of the outside suddenly dims, and I have to blink against the sudden brightness. I can hear my own muffled footsteps as I cross the plush carpet deeper into the auction house. The whispered conversations through the masks make a thin fog of sound compared to the din outside. Wow, I could not say that for some weird reason. But reading this so far, I'm either picking up World of Warcraft vibes or Skyrim vibes. Like, are you guys picking that up as well? I can't think of the city in Skyrim that I'm thinking of. But it's the one where it's like, it looks like you're kind of in the, I don't want to say you're kind of like in a mountain, but it's like a fairly large city. I just can't think of what it's called. And it's not Whiterun. Oh wait, no. Yeah, it's not Whiterun. I just can't think of what the city is called. It's been so long. I'll probably, if I remember, I'll look it up and try to remember what city it is. It's been a long time since I've played Skyrim. But the World of Warcraft place I'm thinking of, just based on the description, reminds me of Stormwind. You know, not necessarily like in the cave, but like being in the, like, you know, just the crowded area. Because it's either Orgrimmar or Stormwind where it has the most people. And so, you know, you think about that when you play World of Warcraft. There's tons of people, especially when you're in the auction house. But there's tend to be tons of people in the courtyard or whatever, you know, like just in the center of those major cities. Man, I feel like I need to burp. I'd rather drink some water. Okay, so the whispered conversations through the masks. Okay, I've heard of that. Signs are in a language I do not recognize, but I can make some educated guesses. The ornate double doors standing locked and guarded must lead to the actual auction hall. There's a short, uncarpeted hall with gleaming polished floors lined with several doors. After a second, I see a giggling pair exit one of the rooms and straighten their clothes. That explains that then. There is one door that is a little more than a window on hinges left open. I peer inside for a second, only to see an ordinary office. I'm in. The stranger sitting behind the desk waves to me, and so I step in. Pardon me, I didn't mean to intrude. You can't intrude on the bookkeeper. I must always be available. You must be? How else could anyone check to ensure I am not meddling in the books? Does it really come to that? Well, I have no such concerns. A buyer, are you? Couldn't I simply be a browser? You really believe someone would come to this marketplace, to the auction house, just looking to see what they find? I suppose someone must have, in all of history. Well, if that's the scale you're measuring by. You, however, are not here to browse. No, I'm not. You're right, I am here to buy. Shall I show you the catalog for the next auction? I would appreciate it. The bookkeeper stands and hands me a sizable booklet. Do not damage it. Do not leave here with it. They open a drawer to their desk and hold up a knife. The little thing, but I have no doubt they could kill me with it. Then they sit again and resume their work. I flip through the book. There are objects of unimaginable value. Works of art by artists even I know by name. An exquisite jeweled tiara fit for any princess. The deed to a country manor on the surface. Then there are the wonders I could never have dreamed of. The bird wreathed in flames that never burns. The still beating bloodstone heart of some rock nymph. A potion of clear vision. I flip a page and am met with the miserable exposed face of a young adult. Their posture is low and defeated, but they are beautiful. The text informs me that whatever is paid in the auction will be sent to their family within the mountain. Surely not. I flip the page again. There are no other people in the catalog, but one is enough to turn my stomach. Thank you, bookkeeper. Finished already? What I want isn't in there. And what is it that you want? I'll check the history, see when it was last sold. I bite my tongue for a moment. Lunar eicher. An unlucky one, aren't we? I couldn't say. If you would, beekeeper. They shuffle through a notebook. I try to read the text, but it is nearly impossible to interpret their faint pencil scratchings. More bad luck to heap on your pile, I'm afraid. The last sale was 3 months back. It's unlikely we'll get another sale for months yet, unless someone new comes with the stock. It couldn't be easy, could it? And what was the final price for it? For a lot of 12? The number they tell me is stomach-dropping. I could not gather those funds in a lifetime. Even divide 12 ways, the price for a single vial is well beyond my means. My life savings weigh heavily in the coin purse under my robe. Dead weight, it seems. By your silence, I guess you don't have the money. Thank you for your time. I try to keep my voice neutral. When I leave the auction house, I momentarily lose my sight and hearing as I adjust again to the dim, echoing cavern. I don't notice the direction my feet are taking me. My hopes for a quick visit to the marketplace have been thoroughly dashed. Now I have to determine what to do. Let's see. I'll think better after some rest. I can't afford to give up. I think rest would probably be more appropriate. I mean, after a sudden defeat like that, especially knowing the price of lunar eicher, I would probably want to just take a minute and gather my thoughts. Because if I keep persisting, it's going to be kind of fruitless. I'm going to end up either running myself ragged or something bad's just going to end up happening. So I feel like I would probably need some rest. So this is what we're going to do. I'll think better after some rest. At the moment, I don't trust myself to make a sensible choice. Staying on guard here in the marketplace is exhausting, and my feet ache from climbing the mountain. I need some kind of rest before I have the energy to determine what to do next. I'm going to quick save, just in case anything happens. I stopped by a stall and asked directions for a decent inn, rest stop, public house, anything. Following the directions through a short tunnel, I wandered through a quieter district of the marketplace. Though quiet is relative. The guest house is a challenge to find, though I hesitate to call the ground down walking paths roads. There are rest houses lining them on either side. The Leaping Bear, the guest house recommended to me, is nothing remarkable. The building has a roof, but the building itself is mostly made of raw wood. The brass doorknob is smooth under my hand, polished by the thousands of guests who come and go. Inside, the atmosphere is boisterous, but on the scale of a handful of people singing and drinking song. The chaos outside is already muffled and distant. Welcome. The woman who approaches has her face fully covered in a bear mask, but her neckline is untied and exposed. I wonder who she works for. Hello. I was told this is a good establishment to stay the night. You were told right. Except the part about night. Here, there's no real difference between night and day. Plenty of folks are up all hours of the day as you do, just sleeping when they're tired and forgetting the sun ever existed. You know, I feel like that would probably be very beneficial for people like me anyways. Like, if I didn't have a job, I wouldn't think anything of, like, time. Because even, I do recall times when I didn't work, where my sleep schedule was all over the place. I could sleep during the day, or I could sleep at night. I could be up for 15 hours, but then sleep for 12 hours, you know? Like, it was just kind of chaotic for me. So, I feel like if I ended up in a place like this would be pretty relative to me. Like, I would just sleep whenever, you know? I see. The bear-masked woman had me sign into a guest book and pay for the night. You have the room for 24 hours. If you're staying longer, I expect you here to pay for more time before it runs out, or else all your things will be sent to a moon shrine. I'll remember. Thank you. And you'll be needing these. She hands me a dull metal medallion on a leather string and a key. Dear Rufus, over there. Dear Rufus, over there. She gestures to a mountain of a man, also in a bear mask, standing by a door. Make sure only guests go to the rooms. That medallion proves you're a guest. Don't lose it. Or else I'll find my things at a moon shrine. Pick things up quickly, you do. Seems like an important skill to have here. Quite right. She gets back to her business, so I approach the mountain of a man guarding the door to the rooms. Hello, Rufus. I hold up the medallion and wait. I'm not about to rush a man with a bat, especially one as bloodstained as his is. Then he nods, and I am granted passage. He watches me go to my assigned room. I suppose it's a good measure to prevent theft, but then so is a bloodstained bat. Sleep doesn't come easily at first. How can I risk sleeping in the marketplace? But it does come for me. In the morning, or what my body decides is morning, my resolve has hardened. Leaving the marketplace without lunar eicher would render everything I've done pointless. I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I stopped trying. I'm able to order something like breakfast from the Leaping Bear's kitchen, and then sit deep in thought staring at a bowl of porridge. Eating in this mask is a bit of a bother. I have to navigate the spoon around the mask. There's clasps, you know. I start at the sudden appearance of the proprietress. I don't know why that's so hard to say. What? Feel along the side of the mask. There should be pins or clasps holding the bottom part. I do as she said and find the little clasp holding the two parts of my mask together. Well, I feel like a proper fool. It already feels strange having my mouth exposed, like a funny kind of nudity. Newcomers are all a bit foolish. That's part of their charm. Thank you, I think. Just keep your wits about you. You'll live. You make it sound so dire. Well, you're here, aren't you? Huh, you're not wrong. No one comes here without good reason, I should think. What's yours? A personal matter. Buying or selling. That's all there is down here, after all. Buying. Something I might not be able to afford, it turns out. That won't narrow things down too much for her. Well, depends on how you try to buy things, doesn't it? Money will get you anywhere if you have enough of it, but there's other roads out there. Is that something you'd know a lot about? I couldn't say. I only know what stories the guests bring in. She says it philampantly enough that there must be a story there, but I resist the urge to dig. Then I suppose my next job is to find what paths I can use. Thank you. Oh, not a problem. The masks trouble everyone at first. She swoops away to handle another matter, and I'm left with the far more productive thoughts. Money won't get me a lunar eicher, but something else might. Influence? Friendship? Violence? Guile. My body, if it comes down to it. Anything. There's a lot to think about. Am I going to stay in a guest house for weeks or months? What possible way are there to get lunar eicher? Let's start with one foot in front of the other. Over the next several days, I get to learn the layout of the marketplace. It's an ever-shifting rat's nest of stalls and passages and unmanaged pathways, but there are some fixed landmarks. I can navigate somewhat comfortably by those landmarks when they are visible. One evening, based on my own internal clock, the proprietress of the Leaping Bear hints over a meal that as long as I'm well behaved, she would be willing to extend more generous long-term rates to me. I wasn't planning to misbehave, even less so with Rufus keeping an eye on me, and so that settles the matter for lodging for the moment. As for the lunar eicher, I am at a loss. It is rare, absurdly rare, and based on the reactions of those I speak to about it, some aspect of it is very taboo, likely the condition it treats. I'm wandering one of the quieter passages, clearly natural by how uneven the ground is. It's mostly homes, built on whatever smooth patch of stone the builder could find. But there is one that towers over the rest, a tall church with heavy oaken doors. Where normally I would expect to see a golden 10-point solar sigil, instead there is more simplistic crescent-shaped one, the lunar sigil. I suppose the solar god isn't much help down here. I have seen the eerie blue-green light of glowworms and the smoky gold of lanterns, but I have not seen the sun since I started my descent. Churches dedicated to the lunar god exist outside the mountain, but not in any significant numbers. The lunar god, lunar eicher. It can't hurt to ask, could it? I'm not sure I believe that the lunar god must bleed for there to be lunar eicher, but there's no harm in asking. Hey, stop! I halt in my path instinctively, although after a moment I could see no one was speaking to me. Instead, there is a raucous crowd gathering just down the tunnel, shouting and tussling. A few people in utilitarian masks and what looks like uniforms are trying to push their way through. Looks like trouble. I would probably, to keep the story entertaining, I would probably stay and see what happens. But I don't think it's any of my business, right? Because I'm here to look for the lunar eicher. So if I stay and see what happens, I might get involved in any form, and I feel like that's what's going to end up happening. But if I run to safety in the church, I can proceed with my goals of seeking lunar eicher. So I'm thinking, I guess to keep the story entertained, we're going to stay and see what happens. Normally, me personally, I would just not even bother. But stay and see what happens seems more plausible. Idle curiosity keeps me where I am, watching the ruckus of the crowd intensify. Very suddenly, one of the members of the crowd breaks away and sprints, directly towards me. I start moving backwards, trying to step aside. I misjudge my step and stumble. I fling a hand out in an attempt to find my balance. The sprinter slows down very slightly as they get closer to me, slow enough to catch my hand and jerk me forward. I try and push my hand away, but it's impossible. The runner pulls me along, and I have to use all my focus to keep up. Stop! Thief!
Thief? I cannot help my astonished outburst. What? Like you're surprised? We pelt down a tunnel. Many of the people stepped aside for us, hardly surprised by a pair sprinting away from a collection of uniformed officials. I wouldn't want to be involved either. The runner takes a sharp turn, nearly wrenching my arm from its socket. I yelp as I follow along. Then we take a turn into some sort of business establishment. The runner does not slow down for a second as the shopkeeper opens their back door for us and closes it once we're through. So it seems like it's kind of like, because it's in a mountain, it's like one of those thieves towns, where people don't openly steal, or at least businesses. Well, they probably do, but they don't openly steal in a way that it's like a lawless wasteland. But thieves kind of help each other out in a way, and I think in a way it makes sense, because a thief will steal something and then they'll go and resell it to somebody else and make a profit type thing. I feel like that may be the case. I'm gonna drink some water. If you have some water, you should drink some too. I feel like I'm really low in my seat for some reason. Okay, I think I'm good now. Alright, let's go. The back alley we're in is uncomfortably cramped and we have to shuffle through. Hold on. All at once, a thief turns, grasping my shoulders and pushes me backwards until I'm pinned against the wall. What the? Shh, shh, shh. We're both panting. The thief leans in until I'm nearly pressed body to body with him. Stay quiet for 20 seconds. Helpless, I have to follow the thief's lead. I do everything in my power to breathe silently and try to tuck myself behind the stranger. After a count of 30, the thief gives me some space. Who are you exactly? Haven. Okay, Haven. Do you trust me? Well, you're a thief, for one. But, on the other hand, you did help me from falling. I think to keep the story interesting. Say yes, maybe? The word is out before I can think about it. Yes. The thief's mask turns towards me in a single abrupt motion. The fuck? What other choice do I have? Not trusting a stranger. He, I'm fairly confident that's a masculine voice, sounds utterly gobsmacked. Not in a good way. And what happens if I run off? You get arrested. Then trusting you is the right thing to do. By the lunar god's scars, it's not. He's definitely exasperated with me now, but I'm not about to stop needling this idiot. Are you suggesting I should go get myself arrested for what sounds to be your crime? No, you should definitely listen to what I'm saying, but you shouldn't just fucking trust me. Very well. You're a criminal and a scoundrel. I don't trust you. Lead the way to our escape now. His sigh is long-suffering, as though he was the one just abducted and led on a chase. The gall. Keep quiet until I tell you it's alright to speak again. Not yet. What's your name, thief? You got mine. I'm a thief. I'm supposed to take things. Do you want me to call you thief while we're walking around? Would you like that kind of attention? Ugh. You're not always going to be this mouthy, alright? Depends on how much you deserve it. Call me Kier. Pleased to meet you, Kier. Really? Not yet. And now you're going to shut up. Fine. I didn't say you could talk yet. I've grown comfortable with the anonymity of my mask, but it's a great shame I can't show Kier what exactly I think of as sass. To be fair, he's probably thinking the same thing. We sneak through back alleys, shuffling between buildings that seem to be leaning into each other. I have no idea where we are at this point. I have lost sight of all my usual landmarks, and there's every chance I'm in a cavern I've never explored before. Kier, at least, looks to be completely comfortable navigating this space. We stop at a dead end. Or at least, it looks to be a dead end for a moment. Kiera shoves aside a collection of heavy planks and a short, narrow passage is revealed. Watch your step. We have to crouch and nearly crawl through the passage, but it is mercifully short. It leads into a small open space behind several rough-built houses. At least, I think they're houses. A lanky teen staring us down from behind a scrappy, stiffened fabric mask. Hey, we're sunstone polishers, don't mind us. Okay. What was that? A code phrase? Still no talking. I roll my eyes behind the privacy of my mask. Then I take a real stock of my surroundings. I am in a strange place with a man I cannot trust. I only know about one exit, the one behind me. I mean, well, if I try to leave, I feel like I might get arrested because there might be police around. So if I stay with him, I at least can guarantee my safety and not getting arrested, even though obviously I didn't commit the crime. But just being associated with him because he pulled me along with him might still get me in trouble. So I'm going to stay with him. I cannot try and flee now and risk the danger of a chase. And what if those authorities who were chasing us find me? Patience. Kiera shoves past the teen and I follow close behind. Wherever we are, I feel safer with him than alone. We squeeze between two houses and end up on a busy, cramped road. The glowworm light that illuminates all the caverns is mostly blocked out by the homes on either side of us. Then we're in a small square of sorts. It's an open space with the most sturdy buildings of this area all around, and there's paths leading away in all directions. It's dark, but I can see glimpses of masks in the shutters that crack open to watch us. Kier! Hey, I'm home. This is the first time I've heard any warmth in his voice. It's such an abrupt change I almost cannot believe it's the same man behind the mask. A child jumps from the low second-story window, landing on Kiera's back. Hey, give a man a warning. You're gonna break my back. No way. You menace. He reaches around and pulls the kid off him, holding them up by one arm. The kid is kicking, wiggling, and laughing. You better say sorry, or you'll be stuck there forever. Haha, sorry. Kiera lets the kid down. Sorry, you're so old. The kid and a few of their friends pelt away and Kiera protests loudly, but even I can hear him smiling. Kiera, who's this? Someone plucked at my long sleeve, tugging my arm. I twist away sharply. That's Haven, or so she told me. Do I get to speak yet? Nah, I like the silence. Well, I think you've enjoyed that enough of that. Could never get enough. I am called Haven, though you can decide whether you believe me. What's a stranger doing here? Needed a decoy. Turns out she's the right size. A decoy? Wow, you gotta be quick on your feet to keep up with Kier. Yeah, I was impressed. I thought I was going to lose her for sure. No, stop. Explain. Not everyone can keep up with me. You know that's not what I meant. What do you mean, a decoy? You know what a decoy is, right? I needed one. You fit the profile. He's evading. Why? You needed a decoy to deceive some kind of authority. You needed a decoy, and you're a thief. Yes, very smart. Was I a decoy for someone you were working with, or someone you stole? Oh, damn. That's a quick one for sure. It sounds like I'm right. And what were you planning on doing with me when you were done? I was going to let you leave. It's such a blatant lie, my jaw drops. Does he really think I'll believe that? No way. You can't let her leave now that she can find her way here. Oh, so I am a prisoner now? Kier, what were you thinking? I was thinking you'd play the bad guy, Griff, and let me be the hero. Looks like you're not on one today. Or it looks like you're not on today. What? I was thinking that someone who can run and dodge the authorities is an asset. He faces me as he was saying that, or as he says that. What? What? He did not just try to recruit me. Kier, you're insane. You can say that all you like. I'm right. We need her to stay quiet. I wasn't planning on involving the authorities. And why should I trust you when you say that? You might be naive enough to trust a stranger, but I know better. You're the one who asked me. So we'll let her learn even more about us? That's about the shape of things. Once you're involved, you're the same type of criminal as the rest of us. And if I'm involved against my will? Yeah. The enforcement here is just so kind and understanding. I'm sure they'll take you at your word. More people, plain masked and curious, are gathering around. I don't know why you're being so hostile to me when I didn't ask for any of this. Because you don't understand. If we get caught stealing, we get killed. The only way we can even start to trust you is if you've also got a noose around your neck. And I didn't ask for any of this. Doesn't matter. You. Okay. I feel like if I let him have it, it's... I don't know. I just feel like it's not going to solve anything. You know, because they are right. The authorities probably won't care if I'm innocent or not. I still ran, you know? So I don't know. I guess I'll just have to let it go. We'll just have to drop it. I'm about to lose a torrent of insults, but I check myself. I am in Kier's territory, not my own. If he decides I'm not worth the trouble of dealing with, and he and his gang could easily end me. Huh, nothing more to say? I turn my face away sharply. He may not be able to see my expression, but I'm certain my body language radiates anger. Well, finally figured out how to shut you up. I have to swallow down bitter bile and blue fire fury. There's a quiet moment. Everyone around us seems to be coming to the same conclusion as me. I am cornered. I don't have a choice in this. I keep my voice as flat and neutral as possible. Not really, no. Then what do? You run a few jobs with us, get that noose good and tight. And then, if you want to leave, you get yourself a new identity and you leave. You already put on a mask and picked a name once, right, Haven? Right. Then you can do it again. You sure about this, though? Yeah. With gups down for the count, we need a new lookout. Haven's got what it takes. I sure hope you don't think that counts as a compliment. When I compliment you, if that ever happens, you'll know. Good to know. And we're not using Eve because Eve is 12. Don't be stupid, Griff. Fine. I'll do what you need, and then I'm out. Hey, no need to make it sound like a prison sentence. Am I not being held against my will? Prisoners don't get paid. You will. What? We're pragmatic. We're not monsters. You do the work, you get paid. Can we really afford? Yes, Griff. I've heard we're getting our favorite visitor in a few weeks. We'll all be getting paid. Hell yes. What do you mean, paid? Caught your attention, have I? I think it's fair to know what my wages are going to be. The number Kiev gives me is not gobsmackingly high, but it's not low either. A few jobs could make for some comfortable living at the Leaping Bear for a long time. Then again, it won't solve my big problem. Good enough. I have a counteroffer. The idea in my head is half-formed, but I have to pursue it. Oh ho, are we negotiating? You're a thief. Yes, that's well established. Which means if I want something instead of money, you could get it. Depends on the thing. Lunar eicher. The crowd around us bursts into a flurry of whispers. Well, at least they know it's important. Kira's voice changes suddenly, the timbre low in a way I can't interpret. You need eicher? I do. For what? Why should I trust you enough to say? Rude? Blackmailer? There's a long pause. That's a lot of jobs you're going to have to work to earn something that pricey. Would I be able to make enough money to buy it? Not in your life, I don't think. Not with us, at least. Then working for you is my best shot at getting it. Griff suddenly pulls on Kiera's cloak and he leans in. There's whispering, and I am not nearly close enough to hear it. Then they separate and Kiera runs his hand over his mask. It's a gesture of pure exhaustion. Fine. The whispers rise in intensity. You work with us, you get your eicher. He holds out a gloved hand. We have a deal? I slowly reach out. He clasps my hand and we shake on it. Deal. I'm tempted for a second to think this was too easy, but it really wasn't. Kiera calls out into the crowd. Someone go out with her to get her things. Pardon? We can't have you sneaking in and out of all the time. Too dangerous. We just finished moving here as well. So I live here now? You'll get a room of your own. Eventually, a volunteer comes forward. Together we sneak out of the hidden community and return to the Leaping Bear. They refuse to talk to me and just follow me like a shadow into my room while I gather the few things I left there. Some clothes, the odd knickknacks I managed to acquire, my hygiene supplies. Then it's time to return the key. Hello. Oh, Haven, good to see you. Ready to pay for more time? You're definitely the reliable sort, so I can offer a good rate. Not this time. I'm sorry. I found somewhere else, a little closer to my goals. I dropped the key on the counter in front of her. Thank you, though. The Leaping Bear was becoming a bit of a new home for me. She's quiet for a few seconds, then she drops her voice low, so low I can barely hear her. Do you need help? If that shadow of yours is unwelcome, Rufus can remove them. What? Oh, no. Things are fine. Rufus doesn't need to do anything. I'm fine. My new arrangements came as a surprise, but I did say yes to the offer. Never mind what kind of duress they put me under. I did agree. Good then. Never liked seeing my clientele go places they weren't interested in going. Thank you for staying with us. The proprietor's voice is a little more formal than I'm used to, so I suppose now that I'm leaving, I will likely never see her again. It's a little disappointing. I have no real bonds here in the marketplace, but I was getting used to the Leaping Bear. Goodbye. I leave, my shadow close behind me. Eventually, they take the lead, guiding me to the yet another hidden passage. How many ways of sneaking in and out are there? It reminds me of the Thieves Guild in Skyrim. I'm just like getting Thieves Guild vibes. Alright. As we enter the cavern again, someone is there waiting for us. Hey. My shadow answers quickly. Don't mind us, just here to polish some sunstones. Then I'm being led back into the tight network of pathways between closely built homes until we're stopped in the square again. Here, I'm done being a babysitter. I see Kier, or at least his mask, turn to face us. Already? You don't have to sound so annoyed. I didn't have many earthly possessions to start with. Getting them was easy. Good. We found a room for you too. You'll be staying with me. I'm sorry, what? Kier brings home a stray. He gets to take care of it. A stray? Griff, Haven is a person. Use her name. The way he says it, it sounds like this is a frequent topic of discussion. My home is small, but I get a lot of guests, so I keep a spare room. Then, I suppose I should thank you for your hospitality? It would be nice. Maybe later. Kier suddenly stands next to me and pats my back right between my shoulders. Let's get going. I've had a long-ass day and I need to take a break. Are you even going to be able to relax with a stranger in your home? No, but it's nice to pretend. We start walking. By the way, welcome to Mousehole. What a name for this place. The twisting paths between the buildings are a tangled mess. There's no easy landmark to orient myself with. Further from the square, the homes and businesses, such as they are packed so tightly together that the blue-green glowworm lights from above doesn't reach us. Instead, the warm flickering light of lamps and lanterns fill the pathway. It's dim, but at this point, that is hardly a problem. My eyes are certainly used to the constant glow of the marketplace. Here we are. It's one home sandwiched tightly between two others, nearly indistinguishable from the rest. The only identifiable thing I notice are the closed shutters, painted blue instead of simply sealed raw wood. Kiera unlocks the door and holds it open for me. Come inside. I step in. It's small and cramped, as anyone would have guessed, but when Kiera lights the lantern by the front door, I can see that it is a comfortably arranged space. None of the furniture matches, but all of it works in some odd kind of clustered harmony. Compliment us home or stay quiet? I think because of the tension between us, I would probably stay quiet. Ooh. Oh, yeah. I don't feel like my character or me in general would probably compliment him. Not at the moment, anyways. Kier is quick to point things out in a short tour of his home. There's a water closet behind that door. If you use the water up, you'll have to get more. I can show you where after I get some sleep. Your room is there. The key's in the lock. That's the only key. Don't lose it. Understood. If you buy and keep your own food, that's fine. Otherwise, you contribute to my budget and share what I get. Any other rules I ought to know? Don't be destructive. Don't make a racket while I'm sleeping. And if I leave, go around the neighborhood as much as you like. If you try to leave without an escort, expect the watch to notice and stop you. I'm going to have something to eat before bed. You hungry? I'm glad he can't see the surprise on my face. Are you sure? About letting you have a snack? About keeping me here? Oh. Here's the thing, Haven. I'm not that worried about you murdering me in my sleep. My door locks the same as yours, and honestly, eternal rest isn't exactly something I'm dreading. He chuckles a little. If you decide to make yourself into a problem, we can find somewhere else to put you. Griff knows a pretty obscure tunnel that goes straight down if you're really unbearable. If it's all the same, I'd like to avoid that. It's easy enough to think of this just as another guest house, that Kiera is no worse than Rufus, intimidating but ultimately harmless. He steps toward what I assume to be a cooking space. The counter is exceptionally cluttered, but he is able to find its goal with ease, a shallow wood bowl. Here. He takes a handful of whatever it is from the bowl and then holds it out to me. This is deadly poison. Eat up. A closer look tells me that it's actually an assortment of dried fruits. Yeah, let's be polite enough to at least take a few. No harm in getting a snack. I take a few and Kiera puts the bowl away again. He doesn't reveal his mouth as he nibbles, instead threading the fruit under his mask. I'm doing the same. Well, get yourself some rest. Don't murder me in my sleep. I'll resist the temptation as best as I can. Kier departs suddenly, taking himself and his handful of dried fruit into his bedroom. I hear the lock click decisively, and I am suddenly alone again. Free to indulge my curiosity privately, I do a quick tour of this front room. Kier certainly made an effort to make this a livable space, but that seems to be as far as his efforts has gone. I don't care. Not much for entertainment here, is there? Maybe he doesn't have friends over much. I continue nibbling. The sticky sweet tart taste coats the back of my tongue. My search is quick. In the end, it has to be with so little to look at. I slip into the dark guest bedroom as though I am an intruder. For a moment, I feel like I am. It has the same cozy but spare feel of the main room. Not a space I could call my own. Door locked, I give myself permission to relax. Kiera could very well have a second key to this room, or choose to break or bypass the lock in some way, but there is little use worrying about it. I'm already so keyed up from stress that adding the possibility of being murdered in my sleep would make resting impossible. What have I gotten myself into? I've been recruited into a gang of thieves against my will. A gang that likely steals to survive, but there's one thing that leaves me deeply uncomfortable. If I was a decoy for something Kiera stole, that means Kiera was stealing a person. Could I live with myself, helping to steal people? I mean, I don't think they're bad thieves. I think they steal for an ultimately good purpose. So I feel like there must be a good reason for this. I think they're trying to save somebody. So I'm gonna go with the option of there must be a good reason. It feels desperate. It feels like trying to find the silver lining of a hurricane. But I need, for my own sanity, to believe that whatever Kiev is doing is for the best. I swallow hard, trying to chase these thoughts away. I'm not going to sleep at all, am I? I follow the motions of getting ready for bed. I even take off my mask, though I am careful to lie down with my back to the door. And after some hours of trying to find a comfortable position, I must have fallen asleep because Kiera wakes me up with the sharp knocks on the door. In the days that follow, I get used to the pace of life in Mousehole. I am, as promised, left to my own devices for the most part. I can sense people getting tense when I drift towards any of the myriad exits, but I'm not about to test my luck with an ill-considered escape attempt. Kier, it seems, is a popular one. He's constantly being called this way or that, attending to roof repairs or settling quarrels. But that is only when I see him, which is quite rare. We are, quite often, ships that pass in the night. In my first days, I was largely ignored. None of the regular residents wanted to interact with me. I have to admit, it nearly drove me mad. But once I proved that to their satisfaction that I am not a deranged maniac, the people seemed keen to get an additional set of hands in their work. I've chopped vegetables and hauled water and washed babies and held a lot of ladders in place. It's not hard work, but it conquers my boredom and gives me a chance to make small talk. Haven, I need a hand. On it. Shale, one of the friendliest people in Mousehole, is stacking crates near the exit passage. Not sure how much I could help. I don't think my reach is longer than yours. I just need a little more support so that I can... They do a short hop and shove the crate into place. If you got time, I could use a hand a little longer. My schedule is packed, but I can skip a social engagement or two to help. Shale's chuckle is gratifying. Very funny. But aren't you going to the strategy meeting soon? Strategy meeting? You're running lookout, aren't you? I believe that was the arrangement, but this is the first time I'm hearing about it. Hey, Haven. We gotta talk strats. Speak of the devil. Looks like I'm doing this on my own. I wouldn't want you to skip that social engagement. Thank you, Shale. Maybe there will be some barrels that we can roll around later to make up for this. I think there's an empty one around here somewhere. The kids took it to roll each other other in. That I would love to see. Are you ignoring me, Haven? Not in the slightest. You know how much I love talking to you. I would be a smartass, I swear I would. Bye, Shale. Bye. I feel like I would be a smartass. Just, oh man. Oh, I'm sorry that I'm yawning so much. Oh, work can be tiring, I swear. Anyways, I make my way towards Kier. I'm a little more comfortable following him through the narrow, winding paths of Mousehole now. What were you doing there? Trying to give Shale a hand. Makes sense. Shale's always finding good tasks to get the kids involved in community work. You're probably right, but I resent that remark. Anyway, get moving. Everyone's waiting on you. You say that like I'm deliberately dallied. This is the first I'm hearing about a meeting. Then we'll need to fix your communication too. Hey, waiting for me to ask when are you holding a secret meeting I do not even know is a possibility is not reasonable. Yeah, get moving. We duck into one of the buildings on the square. Kier has a duck particularly low. The door frame is unusually short, and he's a fairly tall man. Hey, Kier. Finally found her? I wasn't hiding. Found her just fine, thanks. I wasn't hiding. I take a seat at a table with several other individuals. The room is extremely dark, even for an underground room, but I think I can see hints of this being a pub or bar of some kind. Real quick, Haven. These are Lave and Halo. You already know Griff. Terrible seeing you again, Haven. Likewise. One of the other two gives me a slow, casual wave. Lavarina. Call me Lav. My girl here is Halo. The other one, Halo, gives me a near imperceptible nod. She leans in close to Lave. Not the talkative sort of couple, then. Okay, Griff, what's the brief? We've got a commission. Fuck off. Kier's already approved it, don't worry. It's fine, Lave. Griff gave me the full rundown of the client. We've got a commission to relieve the auctioneer of a few choice pieces. I didn't even get to read that. Not the auction, I'm not crazy. The auctioneer. That means crossing the ruby walls. The what? You've done that half a dozen times. And nearly died each time. We're not dead yet. Not you, too, Kier. You're supposed to be sensible. I am being sensible. This is a huge potential payoff when we have it in. I would keep listening, but I feel like I need to interrupt because if I don't, I'm going to feel like an outcast, right? So, I feel like the best option would be to interrupt. Okay, stop. What is it? You're talking local business and I'm new to the marketplace. How new? Not quite a month. We're not working with someone that green. A month? By the lunar god Scar, what the fuck were you doing outside the mountain to be able to keep up with me? Not your business. Fine. Anyways, time spent in the marketplace isn't the same as experience in our work, Lave. And if things go wrong, you have no obligation to rescue her. Not reassuring? Not for you, but very much to me. And what is it you don't know, Haven? The ruby walls, for one. There's a wall with a vein of raw rubies in the main cavern. There's a gate that theoretically anyone can go through, but in practice is only for the wealthy and the beautiful. Exactly. The auctioneer is rich, and she lives above a pleasure parlor on the other side of the ruby walls. The planning continues, with Griff drawing up a map on the table with a piece of chalk. I cannot speak. For all of his belly aching, Kier is careful to make sure I understand everything. I'd feel patronized if it wasn't so helpful. The rest are also begrudgingly patient until we finish the brief. The four of them stand up. I follow their lead. My cloak is just barely fine enough to be worn beyond the ruby walls, but the other four take the chance to fancy themselves up. God, back in these awful things. Kiera holds up a heavy, richly embroidered cloak. Imagining him in it is comical. Laughing at me, Haven? Yes. Ha! And you, Lave? She shrugs. She's right. You look stupid in that. It doesn't match. It really doesn't. I keep telling you, buddy. You're made of iron, not silver. Griff's already in its disguise. Like you're one to talk. You look like a child going through daddy's closet. Griff's short stature and casual posture, leaning into Kier, is completely at odds with his jeweled hood and satire cape. Knowing what he's like honestly makes it even funnier. You look like you robbed satin without a lantern. Quick save. Maybe I should join it. I feel like this is a good opportunity to get in with the crowd, right? You look like a throw pillow fucked a jewelry box. Oh my god. Leif bursts into laughter, mostly at Halo's response, I assume. Haven. Oh no. Kiera reaches over, takes a hold of my shoulder, and holds tight as he curls into himself, choking on laughter. Laugh it up. After a second, Griff looks at me. It wasn't that funny. You just surprised them with vulgarity. Kier pops up, a smile in his voice. No, it was a bit funny. You really put it over the top, Halo. Oh no, Thanks, Halo. The laughter dies away a little, though the mood has definitely been lifted. So it worked. I'm over here dying. Oh my god. Things settle down again. Okay, let me breathe. Okay, I can't read if I'm laughing. That was fantastic, honestly. Okay, I don't know why I put up with you. Kiera pats his shoulder firmly. Neither do I. There's some more scattered laughs, but the atmosphere of the room slowly turns more serious. Halo and Lave are checking each other's disguises, ensuring their weapons are not visible to passerbys. Yev is checking over his own knife carefully. It's beautiful and likely quite odd, unlike the rest of his daily wear. Should I be armed? It's not a good idea, obviously. I am a rank novice and would be far more likely to be stabbed with my own knife than use it to properly defend myself. Still, I cannot help but feel a twinge of fear. The knife won't make me feel less frightened. But it's hard to convince myself of that fact. The rest of the preparations happen in anticipatory silence. Ready? Then let's move. We walk in a loose group to yet another exit. I have yet to fully count the ways into and out of Mousehole, but there must be at least half a dozen. It's another narrow passage that leads into the back room of a shop. From there, we can exit through the storefront and step into the busy walkways of the marketplace. Look alive. In any other circumstances, we would be a deeply strange group, a gang of well-dressed strangers walking together but not talking. But this is hardly the strangest sight in the marketplace. There's a bird-masked contortionist performing in a tiny cage and a pair of drunkards fighting in just one of the crossroads we walk through. Things are as lively as ever. We passed a church on our way to the most central caverns. Was it only a few days ago I was standing there looking for some clue to start me on my hunt? As we entered the largest cavern, the heart of the marketplace where I started my journey, we walked close together. Alright, you know the drill. Split up, we meet across from the pearl choker. Haven, you're with me. Lav and Halo are gone in a second, melted into the crowd. Griff glances back at Kiera for a second before doing the same. Don't trust me not to run off? Not in the slightest. Plus, you're new to this. I might be able to give you some pointers. How do you know I'm new at this? You're paying a lot of attention to small details, the kind that are easy to ignore when you're used to this work. Fair enough. See, I've never planned theft before. I've never worked in an organized group to steal before. So I don't know exactly my history as this character. So I have no idea if I've ever stolen before, at least character-wise. But, I can't really say the same either for being in an organized group. Based on my character's, the way my character kind of goes about herself, I feel like she hasn't really had much of a social life as well. But to be fair, I guess, I don't think she's ever been in an organized group to steal. So I'm going to go based off of this theory. I've never worked with others in a project like this. But you have done this kind of work before. I thought we were supposed to leave our surface life behind it. Leave it behind all you like. You're still quite comfortable working with us. Well, we have to survive somehow, right? And I doubt the auctioneer is someone who will suffer greatly when we're done with her. No, you won't have to feel bad for her when we're done. She's someone who would sell literally anything if it meant getting a cut. And what will we do with our finds? Sell it to a different asshole who'd do anything for a cut. I think you'll like him, though. He's got a tongue as quick as yours. Is that all you think I am? Maybe if you talked less, I'd understand you more. Not a chance. Worth a try. And here are the walls. Take them in. My first impression is that they're nothing special. Stone walls about twice as tall as the average person, smooth enough to be nearly impossible to climb barehanded. And then I noticed the flickering lights. The rubies in the stone have been dug around and polished where they sit so they catch the light. They glimmer like candles, but the color is rich, richer and redder than any fire. There are hundreds, possibly thousands of them. It's subtle and beautiful. And here's our gate. Brace yourself. Kiera seems to set his shoulders and marches forward, leaving me to hurry and catch up to him. Beyond the ruby walls, things are still busy, and it's not as though there's anything to muffle the sound to the rest of the marketplace. But there is still a noticeable change. The rest of the marketplace is people hawking their wares, shouting at potential buyers and cajoling them to buy. Here, the people standing in front of the businesses don't shout. They offer samples or display their wares, pose at and flirt with passerbys. But there is no shouting. I suppose if you have a business here, you don't need to shout to get attention. It really is different. There's nothing in it in the world like the jewel box. He might have been said in admiration, except Kiera's voice is oozing bitter disdain. Kiera and I walk side by side, taking a few turns to avoid a direct path to the pearl choker. He stops to look at perfume bottles and little ivory statues. I pause near a window blazing with light. A lantern shop. You know the plan. I know the plan. You know where to hide. I know where to hide if you foul up everything. But you won't, will you? From your lips to the moon. Don't make me run again. Or what? Or I'll be very cross. Be still my beating heart. Anything but that. Let's focus. I let myself fall silent. Kiera glances over at me. Maybe he was worried I'd vanished when he couldn't hear me. I smile a little at my own private joke, then bring my thoughts back to the task at hand. We're getting close to the pearl choker now. Time to get to work. At the pearl choker, Kiera splits away from me to enter through the front door. I slip between the pleasure parlor and the neighboring gambling hall. Both businesses are high class, with beautiful fronts and charming staff, and I swear I could hear a live band from one of them. But it doesn't matter how pretty the buildings are, and alleyways, all alleyways are the same. There's a vague sense of grime and hostility. I'm definitely not breaking any rules, but I'm almost certainly not welcome here. If things have gone to plan, Live and Halo broke into the apartment above the pearl choker by climbing the new attachment to the gambling house and jumping the gap. Griff and Kiera are going up through the inside using the staff passage, and I am keeping watch, signaling whether the alleyway is clear or not through a simple set of gestures. Holding one arm, there are people in the alley. Holding both, there are guards or staff in the alley. Arms relaxed, no one but me here. Oh, somebody's calling me. It is not complicated, but I do have to keep an eye on both ends of the alley and signal constantly. It's my watch going off. Sorry about that. If you could hear the vibrations, I'm sorry about that. It is not complicated, but I do have a keen eye on both ends of the alley and signal consistently. Ideally, all four of them will jump the gap and climb down the gambling hall's addition, and we'll separate to reunite in Mousehole. If we need to run, I even have the turns I need to take into the crossroads memorized. Straight through the first crossroad, left, then left again, right, and if I won't be seen, I go into and hide in the butcher's shop. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I'll probably need to... I didn't think I would actually need to memorize that, so I'm probably going to need active hints. It's written on my arm. At least I have a plan. But it also means that I'm going to get chased as well. So, knowing that, I'll lean against the gambling hall wall. This one is made of stone, beautifully cut and polished and scratched with all sorts of graffiti. People never change. Always marking that someone has been here. That Agatha has great tits. That Darwin fucked his mate. Okay. Delightful. I'm alone in the alley. I drop my arms and wait. Okay. My stomach turns with discomfort. I feel cool neutrality. My body buzzes with excitement. I would be uncomfortable, considering one, anything could happen. But I want to be able to try to keep my cool. I'm not exactly excited, so I'm probably just going to try to keep my cool on this one. I don't enjoy this life, but I'm not upset to be here. Would I choose to be here of my own accord? Probably not. But to get lunar eicher, I'd do anything. At least this is something I can tolerate. But for the moment, I have to put those feelings away. For a short while longer, I am completely alone. Then a stranger wobbles along into the alley towards me. Hey. Mind if I smoke? Not at all. Want any? She holds out a little pouch of herbs. I recognize it on sight. Sweetgrass. I'm imagining that sweetgrass is either going to be a form of tobacco or a form of marijuana. I've had it plenty of times before, back on the surface. You smoke it with others to build bonds. As loose herbs like this, it softens the hard edges of stress. So it's marijuana. Not enough to addle the mind in any way, just enough to make connection easier. I think it's what? Yeah, there's somebody in the alley. I let my arm rest against my lower torso and grip my elbow firmly. Sweetgrass, right? You know it? Every teen learns to grow it where I'm from. Lucky you. I only found this stuff down here. I'm gonna decline because I don't know this person, therefore I don't know their intentions. Even if they are in a more, upper, let's say like a more fancy district, I still wouldn't trust them. So we're gonna decline. It's a kind offer, but I have to say no. Fair enough, more for me. She rolls her a tab with quick, clever fingers. Even if she's new to the practice, she's clearly gotten good at it. She strikes a match. I can smell the faint sweetness of the smoke. I keep turning my gaze to either end of the alley, still focused on my mission. What are you here for? Void. If I answer it, I don't know what I'll say. But avoid, I that can mean I don't say anything. So I'm kind of bothered by this part. My answer, I feel like answering would be telling them. But I feel like I'm not that stupid to tell them. Like, I couldn't be that stupid to say, oh, I'm here to steal something. So, just avoid. Just personal business. And you? Heard there was a fortune won in the gambling halls here every hour. Thought I'd try my luck. And how has your luck fared? I'm about to get a big win. I can feel it. Not well then. May the lunar god smile upon you. Oh, you're a loony? There's a few people miling near the alleyway entrance. I can tell what sort of people they are. I guess to go along with it, I'll put this one. Well, most people here are. Lunar blessing felt appropriate. It's so strange, though. The solar god makes everything perfect. The lunar god ruins everything, and then the people here worship the moon? I was never one for theology myself. Whatever. One of the people at the end of the alleyway starts coming in. Big, confident posture. At first, I can't tell if they're armed. Then I see the blade. I don't know if he's a guard. But I think holding both arms means that there's somebody, right? If I remember correctly. They get closer. Hello. Any reason you're loitering back here? Oh, I didn't realize we were loitering. We were just having a break. Yeah, we were sharing some sweetgrass. Want any? She rummages through her bag, but the stranger cuts her off. No. They point at me. I didn't see you in the hall earlier. I wasn't in the gambling hall. Then where have you been? Here? Proof? Well, I've been here with her for a while now. Mind if I ask a few questions? Go ahead. Definitely some kind of security force. Did you come here alone? Come where? This alley? To the jewel box. Yeah, I came alone. Yeah, I'm a newcomer to the marketplace. I wanted to see if some of the sites people keep talking about. This alley's nothing special, but the rest of the jewel box is very nice. Their posture betrays nothing. Then I see my friend here with sweetgrass and decide to hang around for a while. That's what happened? Yeah. Put that out and go back in. I'm not done yet. I'm talking to this one alone. It doesn't sound like they're going to brook any arguments. You have a win waiting for you, right? Yeah? Yeah. Good talking with you. Likewise. She leaves and I'm left alone with this member of security force. I feel like let's do a quick save. History. At least I can go back. Let's see. Straight through for okay. Okay, so holding both arms. Okay, so yeah. Is there a problem then? Suspicious activity. Not good. Do people not stand around alleyways in the jewel box? Not unless they're looking for trouble. I was just looking for a little bit of quiet. With another person. Better one than hundreds, I would say. The stranger's posture somehow gets more tense, like they're waiting for me to book it. Why are you here? In the jewel box or in general? The marketplace. Buying. And you had time to wander around? Turns out not everything is for sale all the time. I'm waiting for a shipment to come in. That should be enough truth to convince them. And what have you been doing while you wait? While seeing everything the marketplace has to offer seems appropriate, but I feel minding my own business. But then he might come in with that remark of, why were you with that stranger then? I don't know. This one. I've been keeping to myself, minding my own business. You know how it is. I don't. Isolation is a sign of suspicious behavior. Come with me. What? Where? Come. I could try to run, but that would absolutely confirm whatever they suspect of me. Well, alright, I suppose. I'm led into the pleasure parlor, but instead of following the smell of food, the sounds of laughter, we turn abruptly to the right. Offices, most likely. Wait here. I try for the door handle as soon as it's closed, and it's locked, and I have no means to unlock it. I'm left in a pitch-black office, sitting on the floor for fear of bumping into something and damaging it. Property destruction is unlikely to endear me to these people. Alone for a while, my only option is to stew in my own feelings. It's difficult to smother the ember of anger in my belly. I was fine with this work, provided it didn't put me in danger. It didn't take long for that to happen, it seems. A door slamming open scares the daylights out of me, and I nearly jump to my feet. Stop fucking struggling. It's not going to do anything. A lantern is brought into the office, and I can see 5 people coming in. 3 security officers, all uniformed the same way. And then there's Kiera and Halo, both being dragged in. They're tossed in. Halo crumples to the floor, but Kiera lands on his knees, looking ready to fight. Get up. I get to my knees, about to jump to my feet beside him. One of the security guards punches Kiera in the gut before he can get up. Another throws me to the ground. Never an end to these rats, is there? Well, thief, is that one part of your little team? The question is directed towards Kiera. The security officer is pointing at me. That's our lookout, yeah. Sorry, Haven. Fuck you. I thought I was getting to like Kiera, but this burns down all the goodwill and affection I'd built for him. A deal's a deal. He sounds resigned to this, putting a noose around my neck and getting it good and tight for the executioner. Thieves don't get trials, not in the marketplace. If you're caught stealing, the victim gets to extract their punishment immediately. And so it is with us. I watch Kiera fall. Halo turns away. I watch him slowly drown in the pool of his own blood, clutching tightly to the slash across his throat as though he has a prayer of survival. He doesn't get the painless end he would have wanted. The security guards watch him die in silence. For them, I suppose, this is ordinary. Just another thief facing their expected end. I should be scared in this moment. I don't want to die, especially not in such a grim way. But there's only an ice-cold void left in me. The part of me that feels is already dead. Once it's clear that Kiera is dead, security officers turn to Halo. Make it quick, please. She turns her head away, offering them her jugular. She got something in her trembling hands, maybe some memento from Lave. There's no time to ask before she's bleeding out on the stone floor. Then it's my turn. I don't see what happened, though. Let's go back. Go back. Something didn't add up. Okay, here we go. Oh, I've been everywhere, even if I'm not buying. It's incredible to see everything there is to offer. The staff at the Leaping Bear have been very good at advising me where to go. No answer, but that's better than a bad one. Open up your cloak. What? I need to check you for dangerous objects. I don't have a knife, so I'm good. Good thing I didn't take a knife. I opened my cloak and put up with the security officer examining with almost intimate closeness by lantern light. It's uncomfortable, but there's only so much I can do. I did consent to this, technically. As you can see, I'm just an ordinary traveler. I agree that you're not carrying any weapons. You're free to go. Sorry? You can leave now. My first instinct is to tell them that I want to stay here, but that's not going to get over well. I'm waiting for someone here. Then wait in the tea parlor across the road. Clear out. I'd rather not. They stare at me. I suppose they're trying to parse exactly what I'm thinking. You've been cooperative, so I'm going to extend the same courtesy to you. Once. Get out of here now before I have to take you in for suspicious behavior. I freeze. I can't leave, but staying is also no longer an option. I'm almost grateful that this is the moment someone chooses to leap from the balcony above and land on the addition to the gambling house. It's Kier. He lands, and before the security officer can say a word, a knife flies past my head and stops in the officer's gut. They fall, gasping. We're compromised. Run. No one's raised an alarm yet, so I sprint from the alley. But me sprinting away from the gambling hall at full tilt? It's inherently suspicious. Other security officers start pursuing me. I reach my first crossroad within seconds. Burst straight through. I sprint straight through the crossroad, plying through a cluster of people listening to a musician on a corner. I could swear my pursuers are getting closer. Another crossroad. Second, turn left. Okay, so I'm going to turn left. I can feel the ache of exertion settling into my muscles, but I'm not close to safe yet. I'm not slowing, but the security officers chase me seem to be getting faster. I nearly collide with some random passerby. Left again. Okay. My legs and lungs are burning. This is even worse than when Kier abducted me. Then I could just follow him. Stop her. The general apathy of the crowd around me means no one will help me. But no one seems keen to help security either. Bless the moon. Even so, one of my pursuers is getting dangerously close. Gotta shake them. Get some obstacles. I spot someone selling an assortment of chairs with several tall stacks within reach. I can't help the words that come out of my mouth. Sorry about this. I grab a stack and pull it down as I pass, then another. There's the fearsome racket of wood on stone, the surprised shouts of people passing by, and a quick glance back shows that none of the security guards as close to me, anymore. Almost there. Take a right. Okay, turn right. I know what I'm looking for. And thankfully the security is just far back enough they won't see me. Finally hiding the butcher shop. Okay. I practically tear the door open. I need sanctuary. The front room is thankfully open, and the butcher is quick to jump to action, letting me into the bank. Or into the back, not the bank. The room is chilled with blocks of ice, and there's a faint smell of blood. At least there's a roof to keep the cold in. I have to fight to keep from panting. The cold air harsh against my throat. I feel lightheaded from suddenly stopping. All my blood is in my legs. But that's how it feels. You're hiding here. The shopkeeper opens a wooden chest, empty, and pulls out the bottom panel. There's a deep hole underneath the false bottom, a natural gap in the mountain stone. It'll be cramped, but I'm in no position to complain. Thanks. Well, at least the butcher is helpful, but I guess that's part of the plan. Drink some more water. There we go, that feels so much better. Climb in, and the butcher puts the false bottom back on the box over me. I hear him pile a few things into the chest and then close the lid. Someone is pounding on the stone counter in the front room. The butcher must go back to the front room because I can hear voices, but not the words being said. I closed my eyes and strained my ears. I can hear my pulse, but also people coming into the back, footsteps. Words are still difficult to make out. I covered my mouth under my mask and tried to breathe silently. Please, please. There was a loud bang, and I inhaled so sharply I almost choked. Someone's kicking the chest I'm hiding under. Not enough to disturb the false bottom, thankfully, but still. The lid is open. I don't move. I don't breathe. I keep my eyes closed tight and my mouth covered. Please. The lid is closed. The footsteps get further away. In the darkness, I pull away my mask just enough to run my hand down my face. It's back on when the butcher comes back to get me. You staying here? For an hour or two, if that's all right with you. Don't touch the goods, and you can stay. Thank you. A few hours in the cold, alone with my own thoughts, is not fun. But it's a relief compared to the escape I just endured. When I feel like the coast is clear, I'll leave the butcher and make my way to the safer side of the Ruby Falls. I have to meet Kiera and the rest now. When we reunite, it's in the rundown pub in Mousehole. Hey, Haven. What took you so long? I was hiding in the butcher shop, waiting for things to cool down. Why were you? Good job hiding, Haven. We only just got here ourselves. I realized exactly what's going on a second later. Kier, you shithead. Fine. Take it out on me now. Did my running around as a distraction actually do anything? It was a guarantee. But we were already done with the hardest part of the job. You were duped. Kiera wanted to be absolutely sure we'd be safe and used you to do it. And risked my life in the process. If anything went wrong, I would have been killed. You would have. His cool acknowledgement only serves to heat up my temper. And you didn't hesitate for a second to send me on an especially dangerous, unnecessary job just because I'm your least favorite? If you're not making a list of which of us gets thrown off the cliff first, you're not thinking far enough ahead. Kier. Anything else I should know about then? Are you going to feed me things to check for poison or sell me to get intel? Fuck off. You're the one who decided I'm disposable. I just want to know how much. I knew you weren't going to get killed. You don't need me to tell you that you're quick thinking and you're fast on your feet. I could rely on you to be a distraction and let the rest of us get out safely. But you couldn't let me know what I was doing. No, I couldn't trust you to do it if you knew what I was asking. Maybe I just won't do anything you tell me to do, then, unless I understand why. I cross my arms. Here I can't see me seething, so I settle for communicating in the posture instead. Drinks on us. The one of the servers, a barmaid with pretty hands and a full flat moon mask, delivers drinks to our table. Thanks, babe. Don't make me regret this, creepy baby. Griff will be on his best behavior now, right? Yes, he will. Good. I'm like planting words there. He almost sounds like a chastened child. Kiera lifts his drink. To a successful run. The others raise their tankards. Should I toast with water or booze? I guess to let loose a little bit was toast booze. The hell with it. Might as well get drunk. I toast with the rest of the thieves. The glass clinks and we all drink. Well, show us the loot. I think we've earned a look at our prize, right? Yeah. Halo and Lave go through their pockets and drop some small things on the table. God's scar, that's the stuff. Griff turns to the server. We got a couple of good necklaces, nothing wild, but we're not going to turn our noses up on that, right? Some compass stones, a few rare coins, and I know will go to a good home. And the bit we got commissioned for, a genuine witch ring. A witch ring? You serious? As the grave. Well, that sounds very impressive. Maybe even worth putting our lives at risk for? Witch rings give power to the wearer. The longer you wear it, the more power you get. It's just about the only magical thing that won't ruin your life. Well, it won't ruin your life directly. But there's a lot of fighting over them. Yep. And that means people willing to pay a lot to get their hands on one. What a treasure. You're telling me, D. Halo puts away the spoils of our adventure. And when good old Hemlock or Epstein or whatever he calls himself these days shows up, payday. You're gonna be rich, Haven. I can hear him smirking. The drink's going on for hours. I hear a lot of songs and more than a few stories about other gigs they've done. Halo eventually brings out a deck of cards. She almost wipes the floor with us. For someone as shy as she is, Halo's a regular card shark. Then Lave yawns and she and Halo go home to rest. Griff follows the server, who I now know is called Delight, into the back. Well, that's that then. You're free to go, Haven. What? Aren't I supposed to? Yeah, Griff will be pissed about this tomorrow, but I think it's for the best. Get your things and get out of Mousehole. That noose is good and tight now anyways. Why? Why are you doing this? You've been pretty obliviously miserable here, and as much as I appreciate someone who does the work, you're a pretty bad fit. This is better for everyone. I know he's right. I don't especially like Kier, and he definitely does not care about me. The thieving was a means to an end anyways. And the lunar eicher? That would have taken a lot of jobs to earn. You weren't even close. Then I guess I'll have to get it some other way. Good luck. Within an hour, I have my things, and I'm walking out alongside Kier. He hands me a pouch of money, and then he leaves, off to handle his own business. What now? It's for the best that I'm leaving. I try to tell myself. It's for the best that I'm on my own again. But thinking of Mousehole leaves me feeling a deep pang of regret. Maybe if things went differently. No. No time to think of regrets. I've got a life to rebuild again. Off into the marketplace once again. Bad end. You're free to go. Without lunar eicher. Well, what was I supposed to do? I mean, I wonder what would have been the good ending. I suppose there's probably a guide for it to get the better ending. But made possible the making blah blah blah. Thank you for playing Obscura. We're really happy to deliver you this new story, and this time expect more to come soon. I can't wait. Stay tuned. Okay, so I imagine this. I don't know if I'll ever find a good ending, but I might go back and play through this again just on my own time to find the good ending. But this was Obscura, Chapter 1, The Descent. I particularly enjoyed this. Not a lot happened. Well, I can't say not a lot happened. A lot did happen. But I thought that my choices were pretty decent. Because, like, I didn't want to, I didn't want to, like, do something, anything too crazy. But I didn't want to be too into my comfort zone when it came to being a character. So I tried to at least walk the line on this one. But so far I enjoyed it. I kind of can't wait to see what chapter 2 or 3, I think there's going to be 3 chapters, considering we only encountered one character, which is Kier the Thief. There's 2 other characters, which I can actually show you. We have Sirius, I imagine that's how you say that, the priest, and then we have the fancy stranger, who I imagine we would have came across Sirius the priest, but we did come across the fancy stranger. Obviously, they didn't reveal themselves too much, but that's fine. And here's the masks, I guess, the other masks, if you're interested to see. I don't know if these are the same, if we would have encountered this character, but I don't know. I feel like if we would have smoked the sweet grass, we probably would have had more with this character. Okay, what's this? This says that plays only a cameo role in the story for now, so we will come across him again later. For Sirius the priest, I guess if we would have went into the church, this is the story we probably would have went with instead. But we ended up going with this story instead. So, fair enough. I feel like we probably still would have come across a fancy looking stranger, though. It seems like it, but we probably would have had more interaction with him. So I think, I'm not too sure to say the least, but I really enjoyed this one. So, with that being said,
If you guys want to play this yourself, I'll put it in the description below. And I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day. Drink plenty of water, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.